Boom, starting live broadcast. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm hoping this content finds you in the middle of an amazing day. I am Lisa Concepcion. I'm a certified professional love life coach. I specifically help people to transform themselves into open, loving, receiving love, getting the best love, the most healthiest love that they can give and get in their experience on this planet. And I have many videos. If you're checking me out on YouTube, I have like over 800 videos going back to my own journey, which started in 2014. And then I was inspired to become a life coach after my own awakening, after my own divorce and subsequent healing, inner child work, shadow work, and a reinvention of my life. So I coach from that perspective. Some people say I'm an empowerment coach. I love that because I am not all about getting in the canoe of victimhood. You cannot run that with me. I will stop you in your tracks and I'll be like, all right, so what is the benefit of being a victim? There is none. So every day I get letters from people who see my content across social media and they reach out to me, and every now and then I get a letter that I am compelled and called to share. So that's what this is going to be. And this one has to do with people who are involved in married relationships. You are the other person. You are the other man, the other woman. You are the other, right? And I am here to hopefully share some wisdom, some things to think about, some insights, if you will, and an action that you can take if you are in this situation. I want you to understand that we are in a broader, higher level consciousness. The decisions that we make, imagine, if you will, you are a drop in the ocean, and the ocean is water filled with other people. We are all water, we are all in flow, but your decisions have a ripple effect in that water. So you matter, the decisions that you make matter, and in the aggregate, meaning everybody in the world, our decisions either can positively impact the world or negatively impact the world. So if you are making decisions from a place of lack, scarcity, fear, weakness, that's why I'm not about victim mindset at all. It's terrible for the aggregate, for the world. For people to be victims and to see themselves as victims, that means they're easy and ripe for manipulation. So I am a coach that absolutely helps people step into empowered consciousness, a higher consciousness. And when you are in a higher consciousness, that's when information like this crosses your path on social media. I firmly believe that. When I had my awakening, the crap that I was looking at in 2008 on social media radically changed in 2015. I started to become open for information like this. So I am going to discuss being in a relationship with someone who is unavailable based on this woman's letter, right? I'm not going to use her name. I don't do that. I'm very about confidentiality, but I will discuss situations because I believe that this one person is not the only one experiencing this right now. So other people can benefit from what it is that I'm going to present in this. And I'm hopeful that it serves you well. I'm hopeful that it provides a loving kick in the ass that you need to get inspired so that you make better decisions, because that's how powerful you are. Nobody's told you this. You are that powerful that your decision, good or bad, has an impact on the world at large. And the better decisions we make as people in the aggregate, the better we come out as humans on the planet, meaning no more wars, no more bullshit systems that oppress us all, no more slave system. We rise above all of this, but it starts with us. It starts with handling our inner child, sitting that little brat down and being like, listen, little kid, I love you so much, but I'm in control. So no more going for people who are unavailable and toxic because they're manipulating you and I'm not having it. So it's taking that leadership role. It's taking that empowerment role. So let's dig in to this lovely woman who sent me an assessment form, and you can get your own love life assessment done by me one-on-one at LoveQuestCoaching.com. The link is below for those finding me on YouTube. If you're finding me on any other social platform, it's LoveQuestCoaching.com. Okay, let's get into it. So she tells me, what is going on in your love life currently is the first question that's asked in this assessment. And she shares with me that she's in a relationship with a guy who is married and has a son. He lives in a different country. We know each other from college. So I'm going to stop right there. I can tell just in that one sentence that she is talking to me from a wounded inner child, or a wounded woman probably in her early 20s. She is not communicating as an adult, as a woman, as a grown woman with wisdom. And this woman is 41 years old. She's not communicating that way. So that tells me as coach, I know what to listen for, that she is somewhere regressed. She's stunted, emotionally stunted. She like stopped growing emotionally in this capacity in like her early 20s. So what happens is she reconnects with this guy from college. We were more than friends back then, but never made it past that stage. We hadn't been in contact since after graduating college, but met up at the beginning of June 2023 when they were both in the same country. Since then, he's pursued a relationship with her. Meanwhile, this man is in a miserable marriage with a kid, and she lacks boundaries. So she doesn't know how to say to him, well, great catching up with you. I'm sorry your marriage is in a pretty screwy place. I wish you all the best. Bye. She doesn't have those boundaries. She doesn't have that level of self-confidence and self-love. And she's being run by that little 20-year-old who's, ooh, my college boyfriend showed me interest again and attention again. That is who needs to be under control. That is who needs to be healed. That is who needs to be confronted, sat down, loved up on, because that is going to ruin your life. That version of you who is stunted, who picks the wrong people, they will keep you stuck indefinitely until you face that. And the decisions that you make, that you allow them to make, that version of you to make, creates a ripple effect in the world. And so my calling is to help people make empowered decisions from a place of love for themselves, confidence, morality. So this is like high level empowerment, right? All right, so let's continue. He said that if it wasn't for his son, he probably would have gotten a divorce long time ago. Yes, and many people do say this. So you don't entertain a relationship with them. Just because they're telling you, if it wasn't for my son or my daughter, I would have gotten divorced a long time ago. This is a manipulation to get you on the hook of thinking, oh, well, he really loves me, right? But who's he sharing a bed and a roof with? Who's he putting money on? Who's he building with? Even if he's not happy, his actions are such that his attention and therefore energy are going to his wife and his family. Until he sorts that out and either makes a decision to stay in it or leave it, you have to excuse yourself from that drama. Love yourself enough to have the agreement with yourself that says, effective immediately, I do not mess with married people. Separated is married. Miserable in a marriage is married. I do not mess with these people. If they want an ear a listening ear, send them to me. Tell them, show them this video. Be like, listen, I saw this chick online. She hit me in the face with her words. I had to share this with you because I am not interested in engaging myself in a relationship drama that's going to suck my soul and prevent me from meeting the person that is available for me. So I want to share this information with you because you need help. Be bold enough to do that. And I volunteer that. You can, by all means, share this video with them because hopefully from that perspective, they'll be like, yeah, this chick is right. You know what? I'm hurting people because I'm hurting. I'm in a marriage that isn't fulfilling and I don't know what to do about it, right? So maybe from that perspective, they'll see this content and they'll be like, damn, like this chick's giving advice to people and inspiring them to leave the exact toxic situation that I am causing because I am not in a happy marriage and I'm putting my attention elsewhere. This is toxic and it's on us to see it and call it out now more than ever because of the way the world is. The reason why the world is the way it is, again, is because too many people are making stupid decisions and they're rooted in fear. Anytime we're making decisions, important decisions in our life from a place of fear, we are putting that drop in the ocean in the aggregate of lowering the frequency of the entire planet. This is beyond. That's why when people are like, why do you give a shit about what people do? Why do you care if somebody's going to like hook up with somebody who's married or whatever? Because I care about the planet. I care about the energetic frequency of our planet. I care about the consciousness of our planet. And there are too many people out there walking around like fucking zombies because they don't want to take personal responsibility for their decisions. But I assure you, when you do and you decide, I am going to take personal responsibility for all outcomes in my life, good or bad, and I'm going to heal the bad, I'm going to reach self-forgiveness, I'm going to really confront my shadow, I'm going to realize there is a part of me that might not be very nice to people when I'm pissed off, or might not be very patient, and you're going to be with that version of you and accept them and then work on them. That is empowerment. That's true empowerment. It's looking at yourself and calling yourself out on your bullshit, then injecting and infusing a massive wave of self-love, self-care, self-agreements, personal agreements, all of these things I teach when I coach people, so that you then start to make immediate new decisions that then add a different drop in the bucket of the world, of the ocean of the world, the ocean of the planet. Your little decisions go from crap into the bucket or the ocean to excellent decisions, self-loving decisions, right? And that makes a difference in the energy and the frequency of the planet. So she feels anxious and depressed, rightfully so. When you make decisions out of a place of fear, you're always going to feel anxious and depressed. When you make decisions out of, this is good for me, I feel abundant, I feel nice about this decision, I feel good in my soul about this decision, you're going to feel ease and flow. So this chick is out of alignment because her soul is in opposition to her decisions. She's entertaining a married man in a miserable marriage. Her soul does not want her to entertain that. Her soul wants her to wish him love and light and move on. So she says that she's anxious and depressed because she's wondering when he'll contact me or why he isn't. This is codependency. When I talk to him, I'm very happy. Codependency. I need to talk to somebody because he is responsible for my happiness. That is a trap. And if anybody watching this is into that, you are codependent. I help people heal with codependency. I had codependency, healed myself of it, and I teach people how to do that too, because that is a trap. It hurts to know that I'm not a priority to him and that I am not important. Why? You are not a priority to yourself. If you were, you wouldn't be mixing it up with this guy. There it is. Number one, you need to make yourself your number one truest love, top priority, best friend, all of that before you enter a relationship. Otherwise, you're going to continue to need other people to behave a certain way in order to fill you up and fulfill you. You're not capable of self-fulfillment. That is a trap. That's why this guy is predatory and he saw you like a little life preserver. That's what you are to him. You're his little life preserver, like ridiculous Titanic movie. There's Jack and Rose on the wood. You're the wood. That's what that is. You're the wood, floating around in the ocean, being the support to this guy. Meanwhile, what are you getting in return? Nothing. Anxiety and depression. I feel emotions very intensely, which is why I can't get myself to end the relationship. I would rather die than to feel the pain. I also know this is morally wrong because he has a family. Exactly. So you're making immoral decisions, right? And you are adding a shit bomb in the big ocean of the world when it comes to energetic frequency. Anytime you're making a moral decision and you're like, you know what, despite these strong emotions, and I'm telling you straight up, these strong emotions that you feel, you are not feeling them. They're being driven by your wounded inner child. This is why I love. I did it myself. I have the book somewhere. Actually, the book is right here on my, Inner Bonding Workbook. I use it with all my clients. It is magic. It's what I used. I studied with the author. It's freaking great. I could give you information on that. People that coach with me, we do like a literal 10 pages a day book club. We go through each thing. So these emotions that you're feeling, understand that anytime you're trauma bonded with somebody, it is because a wounded version of you is navigating, leading, taking charge of that relationship. It is not you. It is a wounded version of you. So, now my computer decided to go and time itself out. So I'm going to continue with this because a lot of people are going through this. You know, her happiness is derived from talking to this guy. She's wondering if he's going to call her and when. Why would you put yourself in that? That is emotional duress. That clearly shows me this person does not have self-love. Number 2 question, what patterns do you see in your love life? Anything that happens over and over? And again, this is my free love life assessment. You can grab this at LoveQuestCoaching.com. I could do it for you. What I do and what I will do with this woman is I will write her back and I will break down her entire assessment. And I might even like send her a snip of this video, like a link to this video. It's fine. Like I'm not using her name, only talking about circumstances that many people are going through. So you can't tell who this person is. So the second question that I ask in this is, what patterns do you see in your love life? Anything happening to you over and over and over? She says, I seem to get attached to romantic partners easily. I do not like the ups and downs of relationships. I've avoided being in romantic relationships for 13 years because I don't want to deal with the emotions that come with a relationship. I also do not like the person I tend to become when I'm in a relationship, dependent on other person for my happiness. Well stated, amazing awareness. This is the beginning of seeing what the problem is. If you can't look at it and you can't say, oh my God, this is how I am. This is how I show up. And really sit there and look at that shadow. This right here is the beginning of shadow work. She's basically saying she notices that there is a codependent version of her. She doesn't like this version of her. She thinks she's, gets attached. All of these things. So she and I, if she was to work with me, if you watching was to work with me, we would handle that attachment issue. We would handle where the origins of that is, right? Maybe it's something that happened to her in childhood. Maybe her parent left her. Maybe she was left with other family members and she felt alone and insecure and something happened in the house. It could be any kind of trauma, any kind of something that happened that you then carry and it goes in your subconscious mind. It's buried back there, but ends up running your life. Real quick little drinky. Okay, let's keep it moving. What 3 questions do you want answers to with regards to your love life? Her first question, how do I not feel the emotion so strongly so that I can act more rationally? Fantastic question. Again, handle your inner child. Those emotions, that triggering, that nervous system response to anything that's going on in your relationships that rattles you, that triggers you, that is an indicator that you have a wounded inner child or a wounded past version of you who is running the show in this relationship. That's the guidance that they're giving you, is their emotions, right? That version of you is like, danger, 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 and they're the ones showing you that emotion as guidance. That's all emotion is. Energy in motion, emotion. So when you look at it and you're like, every time I get a text message from this person, I get like a pit in my stomach. And every time I wonder if they're calling me again and I think of them, I get like this nervousness. Maybe I feel it in my neck or my throat, or like, trust your body. Your body is going to tell you exactly where negative energy is storing itself. So what she needs to do is look at her emotions as guidance and then address those emotions. Don't run from them. Don't hide them. This business of I've avoided romantic relationships for 13 years, that's a form of self-avoidance. Relationships are amazing teachers. The problem is she's self-avoided. She said, I get so attached in relationships, no more relationships, as opposed to saying what she's saying now, where she can get somewhere, is, I notice I get really attached in relationships. I'm going to dig in and explore why that is. I'm going to start peeling away the layers to get to the root as to why I show up the way I show up and why I make these stupid ass decisions over and over and over again when it comes to relationships. Because I recognize that I am a smart and small and woman that has a brain in her head that can look at the situation and assess it. Why am I making these decisions? Where are they coming from? So once she starts asking that, which she has, She finds me. She finds me in her feed. She finds me. Once you start looking and asking inward, what is it in me that attracted this? What is it in me that creates this in my life? That's when the truth and the breadcrumbs towards the truth of you self-actualizing come through, right? So she probably couldn't find a video like this or my feed or whatever it was that led her to my assessment in the first place 3 years ago. She wasn't awake to it, but now she's like, this is whacked. There's something about me that puts me in pain when it comes to relationships. I want to know what that is. So their next question then is another self-avoidant response. Should I stay single for the rest of my life? She says, no, you should not stay single for the rest of your life. You should work on yourself. You should work on your inner child. Work on her. You're disconnected from yourself. You think that your solution for peace is outside of yourself in the form of a man, in the form of a relationship. For some, shopping, money, weight loss, extreme ridiculous calorie counting, extreme ridiculous, binge shopping. Like everybody finds their thing to soothe. Ultimately, you're trying to soothe a wounded inner child that you are avoiding. When you stop avoiding that inner child or that past wounded version of yourself, you will not need those other external things because you will start to reconnect and refocus on yourself. What options do I have for this current relationship that will not lead me to end my own life? Okay, this is serious. What options do I have for this current relationship that will not lead me to end my own life? This is what happens to people. They get in these relationships and they lose themselves in such a way and put themselves in so much pain that they don't see a way out. My love, the way out is through. The way out is through you. Walk away from this guy, make an agreement that says, my happiness is for me to create. And I'm starting to create that today by releasing myself from anyone that puts my happiness and peace in jeopardy, is a threat, disrupts it. This man is disrupting your peace, and your wounded inner child is allowing it. So when you reject him because you make a new agreement that says, I don't mess with people who are separated, married, in drama of that. You're my college ex-boyfriend, great to catch up with you, and that's all I'm available for. Have boundaries. The reason why you're feeling so miserable is because you are out of alignment. The reason why you are feeling so miserable is because you are being run by a wounded version of you. Heal the wounded version and you will not be on the ledge anymore. How would you describe your ideal relationship? I ask this question because here's the interesting thing, okay? That which we desire in another is what we must give to ourselves in order to attract the other. Okay? So when you sit down and think to yourself, what do I want in my ideal relationship? Those are the things that you must immediately commit to giving yourself. So let's look at what she says. Trust and independence. I like to be able to feel independent and do my own thing, feel secure when we are apart, feel respected, cared for, important, and appreciated. Fantastic. Give all that to yourself. How independent are you? You're not. You're codependent. So work on your codependency. That's how you're going to get to independence. You cannot get independence from someone else. It's not something that's given to you. You already are independent. So step into that. The reason why you're codependent is because you have this belief, which we would work through in the belief shifting section, which is awesome. And your belief says, my freedom is given to me by somebody else. My happiness is derived from somebody else. My peace is derived from somebody else. That is codependency. That is a trap. Trust. Everybody wants to be able to trust other people. Do you have trust in yourself? Do you have self-trust to keep yourself safe? To size people up, to have discernment, to be like, you know what, I'm not giving this guy access to me. Like, yeah, I see where he is in his life and I'm not about that. So doesn't mean that I have to be mean. Doesn't mean that I have to be bitchy, but no is no. And great catching up with you. I wish you all the best. I'll keep you in my prayers and see you later. Very easy breezy, but have your boundaries. That's how you develop self-trust. When you set forth a boundary and you stick to your boundary, you develop self-confidence and self-trust that you can keep yourself safe. She wants to do her own thing, which is wonderful. We all do. It's very healthy to have your own interests, your own things that you want to do, and feel secure when we're apart. That's anxious attachment. That's all rooted in healing the inner child. When you feel uneasy when you're apart from your beloved, you need to definitely be with yourself and practice the joy of solitude. There's solitude and then there's loneliness. Loneliness are people who just think that their happiness is derived from external things, distraction from themselves. Solitude is, I need my alone time. I need to recharge my battery. I need to be in my own head, be in my own thoughts, be in my own heart. Really just have time, a ritual every day where I just am in my own self and I recharge myself that way. And then I bring a recharged self to the world. Next question. What do you think keeps you from having your optimal romantic partnership? I'm afraid of the ups and downs of relationships and I do not know how to handle my emotions. I also do not want to go through the pain of a breakup. So until you can become emotionally aware and emotionally self-soothing, you have no business in getting in relationships because this is what's going to happen. There are predatory people out there, narcissistic, abusive, emotionally abusive, manipulative, and they prey upon people like this. They prey upon people who don't have their emotions in check. They are very childlike in their emotional intelligence, their self-awareness, and they end up emotionally exploited. Right? So this woman right now is in a red level danger zone in this relationship. And she's really making her life about this relationship. And the reason is she doesn't have the ability to check herself emotionally and to soothe herself emotionally. And that is what inner child work helps you to learn. It helps you to see this version of yourself as separate, and then immediately you feel better, right? So one of the things I do in my coaching is I help people acquaint themselves with this wounded version. So when I have them on the phone, I'm like, my love, this isn't you. This is them. This pain that you feel is being inflicted upon you from them, the wounded version of you. You paid money to be on a phone call with me. That is you. That is the healthy, wise, adult, regulated, self-regulating, healthy you, right? You made that decision. You self-advocated. You said, I got to get this sorted out. I'm going to take action, take responsibility, take action, and book a phone call with Lisa. Okay, wonderful. Amazing. But now that we're here, we're going to handle her. Because this little girl or this little teenager version of you or this version of you from your 20s is the one running the show in your relationships, and they're running it into the fucking ground. And if you don't do anything about it, you will remain stuck, and even worse, depressed, illness will happen, disease, you'll be completely out of whack, you'll be financially destitute. This thing has a snowball effect on life. So handle it. So, okay. The whole emotional thing we talked about, not going through the pain of a breakup. Again, she is monkey swinging is what it's called. One vine is, I don't want to break up. Next vine is, this is too painful. Too painful. I don't want to break up. Too painful. You have pain no matter what. Learn how to handle your pain. Know how to be with the pain. Know how to be with, you know what, breaking up is going to suck, but being in this a minute longer is bad for me. There's a difference. People are making decisions from what feels better, right? Two minutes of this guy's attention feels good. So you're in it for the dopamine hit, right? You're in it for the dopamine hit, but it's bad for you. So when you start operating from a place of, I love myself and I only do things that are good for me, I only enter relationships that are good for me, you will not mess with married, broken, wounded people. They won't even come find you. They'll be like, a lineup of 5 women and they'll be like, yeah, you can't mess with her. That chick is a self-loving bitch. She'll be polite and nice and kind to me. I love talking to her, but she's not going to entertain me romantically at all. She's not going to emotionally get in my canoe of bullshit. She'll wave from the shore. Hey bro, I see you out there canoeing in circles in your ridiculous life. I wish you love and light, but bye. I'm not getting in that with you. So I then ask people, how would you describe your ideal relationship? We did that one already. What do you think? Did that one already. How long was your longest relationship and what did it teach you? So this woman is 41 years old and her longest relationship was 2.5 years. That tells me she's got some major wounded inner child stuff to work on. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. So check it out. She's 41 years old. She's coming to realize this. Her longest relationship was only 2.5 years. So that tells her, holy crap, my whole life I've been battling with this thing, whatever this thing is. And we, Lisa and me, get to figure it out. We get to be like detectives and we get to look at like, let's sit at the table with all these little crazy inner children and hang out and like, let them tell us their truth. Let them tell us what their perspectives were when they were a kid that nobody listened to ever. Right? Could you imagine you're sitting down, me, you, and your like inner 10-year-old, and we give that kid, the floor is yours, kid. We love you. We support you. Tell us what you think happened to you when you were 10. Could you believe the validation? And when the kid is like, you feel it in you, right? Like the other person that I'm coaching, I'm like, how are you feeling right now? And she's like, I feel like I'm about to jump off the diving board when you're a kid with your arm floaties and you've never swam like in the deep end before. And you're like, this is so exciting, but I'm freaking out. I'm like, good. Okay. Well, I'm at the table too. So tell this kid, what do you want them to know? And I coach them through this process. I tell them, I will demonstrate for you how to talk to that little kid when you first meet them. If you want to do this exercise tonight, you can with journaling or whatever, or you can drop me a DM. I can totally help you. So it goes like this. Hey, hi. Do you know who I am? I'm you from the future. And I love you so much that I came back special to hang out with you because I want to know all about you. And now that I'm here, I'm never leaving your side ever. Now that we met each other, I am 100% taking care of you forever. And then some. You and I are together from now through all eternity. We were always together. I just didn't meet you before. But I came from the future here because I love you so much. And I want you to be happy and peaceful. And I think the crazy people who were like trying to do their best to raise you, I think they missed the mark. But it's okay because I'm here for you now. So tell me, what's going on with you? You're 10 or you're 5 or you're 7 or you're 12 or 15, whatever age we identify that version. What's going on for you right now? And you sit there quietly, and typically my clients will be like, she feels really scared because her parents are fighting a lot. Oh, okay. And then we go through that door and we look at that and we let that little version, the younger version, well, what do you see? I see my dad and he's like working a lot. My mom's alone a lot. She's very pensive and the energy in the house is total crap. And I always feel sick to my stomach. Oh, okay. Do you feel sick to your stomach now? A little. Okay, let's breathe into that, right? Like this is what we do and it's powerful and integrative, meaning when you come out of that, you have some key movement energetically in you where you start making sense of that is that kid. The reason why I have this pit in my stomach, the reason why I eat because I'm like, whatever. A lot of people have like the emotional eating, the emotional snacking or whatever. It's because they're trying to fill up their pit in their stomach from something that happened when they were little. And once we realize this, it's like, oh my God, now I don't feel like I need to eat all the time. I can just hang out with the inner child, take it for a walk, go for a run, whatever, bring it with me. I'm always with it. And it just changes you profoundly in your body. It changes you in your mind. It changes how you start to make decisions in your life. You start to be like, you know what? That is not good for me. That is not a good decision for me. It doesn't work for me. And when you start to put yourself first in this way, it is incredibly profound and you can't turn it back. This isn't a thing where you meet your inner child and then like 2 days later, you're back to doing the same shit. No, it is such a profound meeting, the way I orchestrated and chaperone it, better said. It's just very, people cry. There's a lot of release. I had that too when I went through this process. I learned it. And when I was learning it, I was like, I couldn't even journal right. I'm like, tears all over the pages, right? Like I couldn't even, I'm like, it's all pouring out. And that's what you want, because this girl is very emotionally disconnected and repressed. She hasn't faced her emotions. She hasn't purged her emotions. She hasn't allowed herself with grace and love and kindness for herself to be with her emotions. So I am super psyched that she reached out to me. I'm going to kind of reach out to her with like this video and other stuff too, that she can, at least get started on, helping herself, even if it's not worth working with me, whatever. It would be great if she did a session, because I know I can like help her out like that. At least get her to this next hump. And, super important that anybody out there who's dealing with these types of relationships, these situationships, it isn't you, it's a wounded version of you. They're running the show right now, and you get to acquaint yourself with them, help them, heal them. Imagine it like this. You would never take an 8-year-old kid and allow it to go on a date with a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old man. That's creepy. Right? So that's what you're doing essentially. You're having this kid lead the charge when you show up for dates, when you make decisions about relationships. You're making it from the place of a wounded child, teenager, past version of you, wounded. You want to make decisions from your adult, healed, whole, confident, self-loving, badass self. So, I hope this served you well. You can find me all over social media at Lisa the Love Coach. And you could also find me and connect with me, email me, get in touch with me via my website, LoveQuestCoaching.com. And if you stayed this long, you get a present. You can go to LoveQuestCoaching.com and score your free love life assessment. And your topic, if juicy, can end up in another video. Again, I never name names. I'll only say that it's a woman or a man and the age, just for the context. Because a lot of people, you are not alone. A lot of people are going through what you're going through. And you will get through it, right? Like, no. Get off the ledge, go inside, hang out with the inner child, realize that it's not you, it's a version of you. And that version of you needs you in their life to guide them, to love them, to give them support and compassion, empathy, and just give them all the things that you needed but didn't get. So again, I'm Lisa the Love Coach at LoveQuestCoaching.com. Have an amazing day. Much love to you. Bye.